My name is Sam Rehnborg. I work at Nutrilite. My official title is the president of the Nutrilite Health Institute. More informally, I'm the brand ambassador for Nutrilite and spend most of my time traveling the world talking about Nutrilite and optimal health. My father was born in St. Augustine, Florida in 1887. He was one of the first Western people trained in science who made the connection between nutrition and health. And he made that connection because as he traveled about China, he noticed something very interesting. And that was that the people who lived in the big cities were very sick. The cities were crowded, polluted, and suffered from a whole host of diseases. And yet when he traveled to the outskirts, into the rural areas, the agricultural areas, he often would find the people fairly robust, fairly healthy. They lived off the land, and they ate quite differently in the rural areas as opposed to the big cities. Maybe it isn't what's in the food and water that's causing these diseases, but something missing. And perhaps it's due to the diets and how the diets had changed. They went from a diet that was rich in fruits and vegetables and things that the people could grow in their own fields to a diet that was highly processed, because in the big cities it was very difficult in those days to store food, so they had to can it and process it, and the diet was very, very poor as compared to the diet in the villages. What makes a plant-based diet so unique? Well, a plant-based diet is rich in green leafy vegetables and various colored vegetables and fruits of all kinds. As we begin to study what's in these fruits and vegetables, we've discovered that plants produce something called phytochemicals. Some of those phytochemicals are used to ward off insects and attract insects of other kinds, and some of them are nutrients for the plant itself. Animals eat the plants, get those same nutrients, and there's a symbiotic relationship between plants and animals. And so this led to this whole study of what it is in plants that's so important in human nutrition. And he began to think if there was some way he could perhaps, make something that he could add to the deficient diet to bring it into balance. Now that he had this idea, he began to do some simple experiments in China to try to take plant materials and convert it into a supplement that he could add back to the diet. And he began to experiment with these supplements. He began to make some simple stews and soups made of plant materials that he would feed to himself and the people that he knew in his communities in China and some of the other cities that he was in. About that time, the Great Revolution began in China. He lost everything, and in 1927, he returned to the United States, set up a little laboratory, and began to experiment with different plants. And finally, in 1934, he felt he had a product that was suitable for the American marketplace, and he launched that product. And it was a three-part product, much like he envisioned way back in China. It was capsules rich in plant concentrates. There was a chewable lozenge that was made from bone meal, which was rich in the calcium that he knew was important and other minerals and trace elements. And he added some sugar, so it was a chewable. And finally, there was an oil product, because he also recognized that things like cod liver oil, which had been around for a long time as an American nostrum, had some value to it. And he knew that oils, particularly from vegetables, were also very important. If he get everybody on the planet to embrace a plant-based diet every day, he wouldn't eat our product. I always tell everybody, man, if you can eat a plant-based diet and really do that properly, you don't need to use our products. But it's very difficult to do that all the time. So I know we're always going to have a position to help people, because it's difficult to areas to get. You can't get fresh fruits and vegetables every day, the quantities that you'd like to have. So certainly the idea of having a product like Nutrilite that fills in those gaps. If I could get everybody on the planet, eating XX and having a scoop of protein a day, and perhaps a few capsules of the omega-3, because it's so darn difficult to get enough of that in your diet, I'd have it made. People sometimes ask me, well, why do people buy the product? They don't buy it because they read about it. They don't buy it because they've seen it on TV. They buy it because they know somebody who's using it who says it's changed their life. And I look at them, and they have changed their life. And it's not what they say, it's how they are. These people are all the products of the product. Underlying that is a very critical factor of people taking responsibility for their own health. It's really pretty simple. It means eating the best you can, exercising the most you can, thinking right, being positive, getting rest, getting a regular checkup. That's what optimal health is all about. If you got your health, you got everything. We're proud to say we're the #1 brand of dietary and vitamin supplements in the world marketplace. This is an exciting accomplishment, but really it's just the beginning. We are going to continue our drive and quest to improve our product line, to expand the knowledge of phytonutrients, and stay at the leading edge of this very exciting field of optimal health. We know if we do that, we can really be of service to people all over the world.